Hello everybody, Shinjo here. It's time to link into the VRains with the VRains character tier list. There certainly isn't a lot of characters here, but they didn't really have a large cast in VRains, so I feel like that's fair. Also, there are some things that I've noticed here that are honestly just kind of funny and sad at the same time. But let's get into this. I'm gonna save I for later. Raboppy. Where do I put Raboppy? I'll put him in C. Well, yeah, I'll start C. Raboppy was fine. The minor moments that I shared with Raboppy leading into Raboppy getting an actual form was kind of cool in my... Actually, I'll put Raboppy in a B, but it'll be a very low B because I see Jin Kusanagi here, which I'm going to put in C. The way that Jin ended was fine. I just felt that Jin probably should have dueled because if Jin is involved in the Lost Incident, he should know how to duel. But yet Jin never duels. Always kind of irks me. And while we're at it, let's go and take care of Kusanagi. He's gonna go in B tier. He's fine. There are some moments that he has in the English dub that are just hilarious. But overall, he's just kind of like a cool dude. Wish he would have dueled more though. Kira Zaizen, honestly, I'm gonna put Akira Zaizen in A tier. He's honestly an underrated character in my opinion. He's really neat. And while we're at it, let's take care of all of Aoi's transformations. So, here is... Okay, they only have the two forms. Here is Blue Girl, I think her name is? Honestly, I don't think it really matters. I think I'm just going to put both of them in B tier anyway. Blue Girl, Blue Maiden, whatever you want to call it. All forms of Aoi, at the end of the day, were fine. I just felt like there were some things that Aoi could have done better. Actually, I'll put it like that because I prefer the later form of Aoi to the first one. Of course, they might have not put the third form on here because it was honestly irrelevant. And on the subject of things that are irrelevant and tied to Blue Girl, Blue Maiden, we have Ghost Girl, which is probably going to be another B tier. She definitely wasn't a good duelist by any stretch of the imagination, but she was clever in other ways. And then we have Lightning. Lightning is... I'll start him as A tier, actually. I don't want to completely jump to S tier, but I feel like that might be where we're headed by the end, but we'll have to wait and see. Wendy! Wendy is a character. I guess I'll put him in B tier above Kusanagi. He's cool. And I suppose while we're at it, let's tackle the other Ignis. Aqua and Earth, I think, are going to be along the same lines. They didn't really do much on their own when they're not with Soulburner and Aoi. And actually, to be fair, I'll put him above Jin. I think that's fair to put him above Jin. But Aqua and Earth, I don't know, they're okay. I feel for Earth, but that doesn't mean I'm gonna put them high up on the list. What are they called? The Knights of Hanoi. Yeah, that's what it was. Shoot, it's been so long since VRains. Anyway, all three of these are going in D tier. They just did something once and never came back. Well, I mean, they did come back. They just dueled one time, and that was basically the end of their story. They broke Revolver out of jail once, and then they were just kind of like sidelined in favor of having everything revolve on Playmaker, Revolver, and Soulburner, which was a choice. And as for, do I want to go there right away? Yeah, let's go. Let's take care of Brave Max right away. Brave Max is going to be a B tier. Do I want to go B tier or do I want to go C? You know what? I'll put him in C tier right here. He's not a great character. I wouldn't even say he's a great character for the meme of it, but he's not a terrible character. There are some moments that he actually makes me laugh, like when he dueled the Hanoi Knight. Bowman is a mixed bag. He's a villain, but at the same time, I still feel like he dueled Playmaker way too many times. I'll put him in B tier. But as for Haru, D. Easy. Haru just stood in the background and did basically nothing except lose. And let's take care of this now and get the elephant out of the room. We have Go Onizuka and Diet Go Onizuka. I am actually surprised that they separated him. And I think it'll actually be like that on the tier list. I think I'll put him in C tier. I don't really know what... I mean, there clearly is a difference between Go 1 and Go 2. But I don't think it's enough of a difference to separate it. But he certainly was an interesting character. I kind of like and don't like the path he took at the end, because it almost felt like he was meant to be one of the main three, but he got pushed out and Soulburner took his place. Sort of a similar situation to the rumor surrounding Crow supposedly being a Dark Signer in 5Ds, and especially with the Salamangreats being popular, I wouldn't doubt that at all. And why am I ranking Pandora D tier? Pandora did nothing. Of course, she did more than half the characters on this list, you could argue. Blood Shepherd is an interesting character. I'll put him in the middle of the list. I think I like him a bit more than Bowman because I like his deck more than Bowman's, but he just kind of got sidelined, just like a lot of characters. The king of sidelining is Spectre. And if Spectre would have kept on the pace he was at, he might even be an A tier. But he didn't do anything in the last season and just didn't even speak at all. So I'm going to put him in B tier. I think putting him right in the middle of the list is fair because he had a good start but a lackluster finish. And now we have the big important characters. Let's get Playmaker out of the way first, because Playmaker is going to be a C tier. I don't really care for Playmaker. I like some of the cards that he uses. A lot of them look cool. But he just was honestly a blank slate. And it felt like he didn't really grow much. I'm sure you could argue that there are some moments that he did grow. But it's a similar situation to a character like Yusei that never lost a duel, but with Playmaker, he literally never lost. You can make the case that Yusei lost in a flashback, and let's face it, he lost to Callan. And also, Yusei had a little bit more personality than Yusaku does. I'm sure having him pal around with Ai is supposed to humanize him in some way, but I honestly just didn't care. Burner is a little bit better. It honestly just felt like he was the new Playmaker, having a powerful deck, beating everybody that he came in contact with for the longest time. It was just kind of odd for me. I do like the Salamangreats to an extent. They're a fire deck, so I have to like it. But I'm indifferent to Soulburner. As for I think he's an A tier. I think he's the second best Ignis next to Lightning, and that turnaround in the last season was really cool. I wish they would have had more time to develop it. And finally, Revolver is an absolute GOAT. He has to be S tier, and I think the way it's set up now, I think Revolver is the only S tier. He is a really cool character. I love his deck. I love his personality. I like how he's the antagonist for the first part of the show, but also the rival at the same time. It's honestly really cool. That is my tier list for Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains characters, and at this point, I have ranked every series characters. I ranked 7s as soon as it aired, and I went back through and did all of them. I am willing to do a Go Rush tier list after the show is done, but I don't want to do it beforehand in case my opinions change on characters. But let me know what you think about my tier list. Let me know if there were things that I was right about or wrong about. Let me know all that down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Momentai.